Hello, everybody. Happy early Monday morning, November 10th, 2025. This is going to be um, really long. I'm not, okay, let's just go. This is for my Wordle Muses. Arise, it's covered by the word genius, but finally, I've been doing Arise and count every day for over a year now. And Arise made it. Yay! I think it was a response to the stuff I was filing last week, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But wait till you see what I filed Saturday. This Arise came out on Saturday, and after Arise came out, you should see what I filed. I'm going to talk about that here. It's at the very end, so I don't know if I'm going to make it. I have to go to work in about a half an hour, in about 45 minutes. So let's just see how far we can get today. All right, here we go. Just some quick stuff I've had up for this one. I've had up for 2.5 weeks. This is for Boss Man Trump. Um, so I submitted to 400 different law review places my Dred Scott fraud uh, law review article, and like this was last September or a year ago, over a year ago, and the last time I got a rejection, it's like they go out of their way to reject it 3 times over the past year. Now, Notre Dame is okay, I understand because I was, but there was one from Boston that seemed related to some kind of a security threat I was worried about. I was having a security issues or getting bad vibes about something happening at Boston Logan Airport. And then I got this rejection from Boston College or something. And I said, okay, this is related. So this Barry Law Review comes from Orlando, Florida. So Boss Man, I don't know what's down there. It's between me and you. You're down south and I'm up here in Gainesville. But Orlando, and this was 2.5 weeks ago. So this is for crowdsourcing rules people. There might be something going down because that's where Disney is, and there's like problems with Disney going on. Trump's trying to purge the gay Nazis out of Disney as well as out of Comcast. So watch out for some stuff going down in Orlando is all. I don't know what else to say about that. It's been up here forever, and I just want to say that. Let me get rid of that, and let me get rid of the okay, and something else in the news was, and I haven't done this in a long time. I did a video on Prove Me Wrong, and I just put out everything I had on Charlie Kirk and what happened, and I think it's probably closer to the truth than anything I've seen out there. And I don't think I won that competition. I think it closed on November 4th. I haven't heard anything. I should have won because I'm sure I'm closer. I had some good stuff. But since then, I saw this guy, Mikey McCoy, in the news. I haven't gotten back to the Charlie Kirk stuff, but I just wanted to put this up here.
My name is Mikey McCoy. I had the unique honor, blessing, and privilege of a lifetime to not only call Charlie a precious friend, mentor.
Okay, he's gay. He's a redheaded gay guy. Just wanted to put that out there. Um, that's all. I mean, I'm helping out people as much as I can, but I, if you can't tell these people are gay by now, I don't know how much I could help non-gay dumbass morons who can't tell this kind of stuff. I'm not sure how much that's helping. Trump knows he's gay, and all the important people know he's gay. And maybe there's some crowdsourcing rules people out there that this might help, but at the level I'm operating right now with my muses, I'm just putting it out there. He's gay in case there's some people who want to know. I mean, this one's obviously gay. Mikey McCoy. Charlie Kirk is gay. Mikey McCoy is gay. I'll put a link to my gay not gay list. It has hundreds of gay not gay people. Whatever. Okay, we'll put that up later. Why am I putting this up here? Because it's once again. We'll go over this for my crowdsourcing rules people, but I did do a history of the world, and I'm going to do a brief, 3:45, just 5 minutes on this, to get everybody up to date on stuff. Now, this is a video that was originally just put up at my Twitter account, but the Twitter account was taken down and suspended, so I reposted it. This is a video I made in March or April of 2024, almost 2 years ago, and then I reposted it once my YouTube came back up. I reposted this on September 8th, just recently, but it was made over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. And the thing about this was, let me see if I could do this in 5 minutes or less. I said, okay, I'm just throwing spaghetti against the wall, and I'm betting this is closer to the truth than anything else that's out there. And there's a lot of stuff I would just love to just work on this only, but I have so many things going, and it's so much fun. All the stuff I'm doing is so much fun, you guys. But so I said, and I'm just pulling stuff off spaghetti. Some of this is based on, real, it's all of it is based on real stuff, but I'm just making guesses along the way. I said the human race began here in Africa. Very dark skinned black people is the first humans. And then how white people were created was a mutation called, black people still have it. Now, this is an example of that, possibly. This is an English actress named Erin Kellyman, and she's black, and this is a typical look for what is called, but I'm not sure she has that. It's called Rufus. It's called Rufus oculocutaneous albinism. Rufus oculocutaneous albinism, ROCA, and it's black people. Two black people come together, and they have, well, a lot of people, well, there's all sorts of different kinds, but it's mostly black people. They'll have a white person with red hair, like a whitish person, light skinned person, and they it's like, it's kind of rare, but it could have been more common back when blacks were the first humans, and they call it a disease, but it's not, because they call it about the disease, but they live just as long. They're just like anybody else. So, and it's autorecessive, meaning if two people have this and they get together and have a baby, that baby is 100% guaranteed to be this. So if the two redheaded black mutants, whatever, they come together and they have a baby, then they have a white redheaded mutant baby, and they live fine. They're very healthy and everything. So this is how the white race began. They're just mutations, and they still exist today. Now I looked her up, her background, and her father is black, but her mother, it doesn't say what race she is, but it says she's of Irish descent. I don't know if she's black of Irish descent, but it could be that's what's causing she's got the Irish mixed in. But this definitely, if her father is very, very dark and she's like this, I'm pretty sure, you could test this genetically, I'm pretty sure she has ROCA. But this is what they look like. They'll have the freckles, they'll be light skinned and with red hair. And that's how white people began. And that's what I argued in there. So we're going to say bye to the ROCA, and we're going to come back to here. So, okay, I have 1 more minute. This is going to go a little bit longer than I thought, but it's just very important, this video. And there's the link to it. It's posted. Go to it. I've had 1 view. It's just like, this should be like 4 million views. That's what it is. It really should be, guys. I mean, it explains a lot about our history and the past, and where we're going in the future. That video does. But so that's how white people began, right here in this area. But the thing about being in this area is you'll tend to get skin cancer if you have lighter skin. So and darker skinned people, if they travel north, they're going to have vitamin D problems, because with the dark skin, if they come up here where there's less sun, your body will intake a form of vitamin D. Most people is common. It'll intake a certain form of vitamin D, and then the sun on your skin will convert it to the kind of vitamin D that your body can use. And so there's a balance going on between the skin. If you're very dark skinned, you do better at the equator for protection from the sun, and also you could still make vitamin D because there's plenty of sun. If you're lighter skinned, you'll do better up here because you'll get a lot of skin cancer down here and stuff like that. And up here, you're still able to make vitamin D because there's less sun. So your skin doesn't block out the sun and you'll be able to make vitamin D. So that's why we have black people at the equator and lighter skinned people up north. That's just a sun thing, and it's a vitamin D thing. So the lighter skinned people migrated north, and that's why they all ended up like in Ireland. And there's these white people with red hair in Ireland. They just came from African mutations, probably. I'm not sure now if we could find that mutation in them this far along, because we've been a lot mixed since then. But that's my theory of how it started way back when. That's where white people came from. Now, in this video, I said there was something about vitamin C as well. Like people couldn't come up here because they didn't have any vitamin C up here. And it's like, no, it's not true. There are berries. There are wild strawberries and wild berries available in this whole area, even though it's, northern. Oh, here's Ireland. What am I saying? Ireland's up here. But even in Ireland, before humans even got there, there were berries with vitamin C in it. So I was wrong there, but I still am correct that there's something about this mutation, this Roca mutation, that also allows these redheaded Irish people, whatever they are, these redheaded white people, to be able to utilize, or there's a mutation that allows them to process vitamin C or utilize it more efficiently in some way, so that they can live off of fish egg vitamin C. You can get your vitamin C from fruits and vegetables. That's where everybody gets it, and there's a lot of that stuff, and you need it. But only these people can get it out of fish eggs, which has a little bit of vitamin C. But if they can get fish or something like that, they could live on the ocean for a long time, because otherwise you'll get scurvy. And a lot of people got scurvy just trying to float around in those days, because they could eat the fish, but it wasn't enough vitamin C. Whereas these guys were able to travel far with this kind of mutation, or this special kind of mutation, and that explains later why we have redheaded people over here at Easter Island, way down here. Like, what the hell are they doing down here when the only thing they could travel on were rafts at the time? That's the Kon-Tiki story. It's like Easter Island has these redheads and they're peaceful, and the reason they're peaceful is because we don't have the gay gene yet, and very, very dark-skinned black people and Irish people, and also we'll show you later, there's certain populations and races and cultures that don't have a lot of gay men, and they're non-violent a lot of times. And not in modern day, we've gotten more mixed on the gay gene. So let's get to the gay gene. So here we go. We have a separate area. The white people start traveling in this direction, and it's not just the Roca people getting together. Those are the people that ended up here in the north, super white. Like when the whites got together with the whites, they just white, and those guys ended up in Ireland and up in that area. Okay. But when a Roca person got together with a black person, which was probably common then too, then you get these half and half. They were recessive. Not always a Roca person would come out of it. There's a 50-50 chance if there was a recessive gene, whatever it was. But you get these in-between brown-skinish people that isn't quite as white, and they're ending up in this area and up in China. And this is where I predict the gay gene began. Okay. Oh my God, this is so long. It's just as long as the original video. Well, it's worth it, you guys. It's worth it to redo this. This is where the gay gene began, and the reason I think the gay gene began here. Oh, just keep going. Just keep going. I'll do a part 2 later, you guys. I want to get to the lawsuit stuff, but I'll do that. I'll do a part 2 when I get back from work. Okay, so let's just take my time and blah, 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 blah. Just throw spaghetti against the wall. This is the spaghetti, though. The reason I'm spending time on this is important, because I could be way off on all this, but it seems to fit a lot of data, and you could just research it and find out different things. But I'm on the right track as far as explaining world history according to the gay gene, and including wars and everything like that, and blah, 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 and where we are right now. So up in this area, there's a evolutionary pressure, like evolution, for families or women or families that got together, and if they had kids, where the pecking order, where the firstborn sons had smaller penises and the penises got larger and larger as they went down the pecking order, they tended to survive evolution for a reason. The oldest son tended to have more inheritance, more land, more financial security to get a mate and have a stable place for them and all this kind of thing to have babies, whereas the younger sons didn't have that and they had to go forage or go find something else to do, or it was not as stable, but the larger penis made them more attractive to mates as well, so their genes carried on that way just by having larger penises. So this kind of this pecking order. But what happened here, I'm saying it happened around here in China or possibly Mesopotamia. And there's a couple of reasons I'll tell you in a minute. But what happened was the larger penis went overboard, and then that's where you started getting the gay gene kicked in, where they didn't even, like they couldn't find a mate, and they just didn't even care anymore. What they were attracted to were men anyway. And they became, and what happened was, what causes the larger and larger penises is more testosterone. They're introduced to more testosterone. And this vibes with today, where most gay men are usually the youngest of a family, of a larger family of 5, and they also have more testosterone. They have larger penises on average. I mean, we could test all this and do all you want, but these are preliminary results show this is true. And it's not like a gay person gets together with another gay person and they have gay people. The genetics are actually a little more complicated, but there is a gay, probably recessive gene that shows up some way, and it has something to do with pecking order this way. Okay, and they're more aggressive. And they're not interested in what the breeder guy, the top guy, like the number one son, they're the breeders. They're interested in family stability, having a farm, having a home, having a wife, and the children. And the younger ones are more aggressive. They want to go out in the world. And this one doesn't even want a woman. They want these guys now. They're responsible for wars. They're very aggressive. They're killing machines. And they are even today. And you're saying, oh, this is bad for gays. And it's like, they're not all that way, but there are certain ones that I call gay Nazis that really are. There's a small percentage of even the percentage. And this is what we have to realize is what's going on. Okay, it's not all white men or whatever it is. It's like and that's why I do not back down from swearing and calling them gay Nazis. Oh, that's homophobic. I don't give a flying freak. This is the truth, and the more I say it, if I just say Nazi, it's stupid. If you say gay Nazis, because not all gays are Nazis, but all Nazis are gay men. Okay, gay white men in particular. And I have a very particular name for them that way, and that's why I always say gay Nazi, and that's why I'm explaining it here. But Chinese, in this area, wherever it happened around the world, I don't care. But in China, well, no, I do care because it explains Chinese people. They realized early on that these guys are very aggressive. They cause wars. They cause problems, and they're born with bigger penises. So once they see a male child is born, especially younger in the pecking order, they just cut off their penises at birth. Okay, and a lot of gay men probably want that, but you're going to get some that are not gay. But what you have is a eunuch who is less aggressive, but still manipulative. And still, the thing about the gay men is they are smarter in a way that's like the female brain is what I refer to as a parallel processor. They're able to take care of 14 kids at the same time and cook dinner and do this. Whereas the man is a serial processor, meaning he can do one thing. These are computing terms. The serial processor computer can do one thing really well, like a math equation, so fast and so well, but that's all it can do. And as long as it focuses on that, and that's just like the man. They always say, if you have 2 kids or you have a family with more than 1 kid, do not give 2 or 3 kids to the father. Okay, give him 1 kid at a time, and everything's going to be okay. You give him 3 kids, he might come back with 1. Okay, this is because it's the way their brains work. You just give them one thing. Okay, they're serial processors. He'll take care of one kid very well. Okay, now the mom is a little bit different. What she does, maybe in serial processors and computing, they don't have this power to do a huge math equation very well. They'll do a lot of things not at the best, but they do a lot of things at once, and it's not maybe the fastest, it's not maybe the neatest, it's not maybe the most accurate, but they could do, the parallel processors can do a lot of stuff at once. Okay, and that's what the female brain is. And when you have a gay man, now it's mistaken to say a gay man can is like is halfway between a man and a woman. They are not. They are on the other side of a male. They are more testosterone than a male, so they're more aggressive. But their brain is that way. Their brain is both a parallel processor and a serial processor. So their brain and that's all you need. You need just a little bit of an edge against all other humans. Not necessarily lesbians, because lesbians are the same way. They do parallel processing but they just don't have the testosterone. So they are the most aggressive, and kind of have an edge with manipulation of the non-gay men, the non-gay dumbass morons I call them. So you don't need very many of them, and once they reached critical mass in China, so what happened in China was they realized that these guys were trouble. They cut off the penises of the largest males at birth, and that's why Chinese people have, to this day, not as many. There's not a huge. There is some gay men, but it's not as big as the white men. The white race has more gay men than anybody else, and that is our number one problem. All these other races have cultures. Everybody has their various idiosyncrasies and their problems, and the white race's biggest problem is we have more gay men than anybody else. The Chinese don't have as many gay men, and they have smaller penises because they've been chopping off penises. But if you look at all the dynasties and all their history, all the dynasties, all the courts run completely by eunuchs. It's called the eunuch when they chop off everything like that at birth, and it's called the eunuch. And they're all gay men, really. Some of them might not be, but most of them are gay men that had their penises chopped off. So they're not aggressive. They're not going to go out and start wars and everything, but they start wars behind the scenes, is what I'm saying. They're very manipulative, and they ran all the dynasties. That's what you have now, is they run everything. And the reason they do that is because a non-gay man, and there will be peace if there weren't gay, Gene, is what I'm saying. Because non-gay people just get along. All they want is, and they don't want to rule the world. They don't want to control everybody else. The reason the gays want to control everybody else is because they want to control a non-gay man and trick him into sticking his penis up their anus. That is it. That is it for them. They don't want to stick their penis up somebody else's anus. They want to be like the female. It's called the bottom, and that's all gay men are bottoms, and they're lying if they're not otherwise. If they're tops, it's because they're lower on the totem pole in power, and they have to be prostitutes. But all gay men. So that's why they want to control stuff. They want to have a lot of money to be able to control the non-gay man, and they're never going to get what they want. So they're aggressive, they're angry, and it is definitely a disease or a handicap or a problem to be born gay that way, because you will never get reciprocated love from the one that you desire the most, which is the non-gay part of whatever you are. I mean, it's just like saying, well, I want this star, or I want this. You're not always going to get what you want, even if you're not gay, but they never will. They don't even have a chance. And, so you have all this testosterone. They don't care about family. They don't, as much as whatever, and they have this smart power. They are a problem. They've been throughout ever since the gay gene created gays reached a critical mass. And that doesn't mean too many. It means like 6 of them can control thousands, because that's how, that they have the means, they have the motive, they have the anger or the whatever. But and sometimes you get somebody using it for good, like Alexander Hamilton, closeted gay man who understood this dynamic, and the Constitution the entire U.S. Constitution is all about a gay man knowing how to protect the non-gay dumbass moron from the gay man, like in his manipulations. That's the whole, and that's Alexander Hamilton and maybe a few others, but they could do good as well. The freaking Constitution is the original was, and when we and the gays still were able to manipulate it to be, I mean, so that's okay. Now I'm getting ahead of myself. So that's what's going on in China, and the reason I think it started here was because writing started here and the first weapons. Now, when metallurgy came into being in the Iron Age or whatever it was, some of the first things that people find are agricultural tools for growing stuff. That's non-gay men doing this because that's what they're interested in. But when the gay genes started and they reached critical mass, the gays did, all of a sudden you start getting weapons of war to kill other people. And that's gays. Writing is gay because the writing wasn't for any other reason but to manipulate the non-gay man to control his family, break him up with the non-gay woman. They can't stand it. They're very jealous of his wife. They want to break up the family. They want the non-gay man to be his slave and to stick his penis up this gay man's anus. So that's what you have. And the cultures that formed gay men raided all sorts of cultures that didn't have gay men and dominated them since. And most of these cultures were white, and they dominated the Irish. Up here, they made the Irish slaves. Over here, they made the darkest black slaves. The darkest black, even to this day, the darkest blacks are not, they don't have as many gays. The Irish don't have as many gays, and Native Americans I'm going to explain in a minute. But that's the story of the gay gene taking over all sorts of stuff like that. Okay, so let's I'm missing some stuff, but okay. The thing about that is when you take on slaves like this, it's not financially sustainable. It will always crumble, and it'll crumble now until we actually run things the way the Constitution meant to run, the way Alexander Hamilton, to protect us from this kind of gay shit. So it explains a lot of things, but let me explain one last thing, which is vitamin D. So vitamin C is a problem. Vitamin C is a problem, but there's these mutations that were able to have redheaded people travel the ocean and eat fish and be fine, and that's why you have redheaded people up here. The vitamin D story is these guys over here. They're not black, but they're half white, half black, and they come up here. As they travel to the north, up here they travel to the north, they're gay, they travel here and they become more and more white. So you have gay whites over here, Europe, gay whites. But these guys were able to keep their dark skin because a mutation allowed them to live in this Arctic area with dark skin because they were a special mutation that's only found to this day in the Arctic Circle. There's genes, there's like genetic history in that area that dates forever. And as soon as you get any kind of foreign genetics up there, the baby can't even be born. It's like they die. So the Eskimos in that whole Arctic Circle has a really interesting genetic story, and their genes are able to utilize vitamin D better than anything else from something other than the sun. And they have to because they have dark skin and they're in the north. That's why you're going, why are white people up there? Except now we have these Eskimos. And those are the first people who came down here, and they became the first, these are what Native Americans. And later you'll see, so we have this vitamin D special. So we have vitamin C special here, vitamin D mutants here who aren't gay, actually. It's a different, it's a different mutation. I don't know if they took off before the gay mutation happened. I think so. That's going to be my theory, because these guys aren't gay either. The Native Americans and the Eskimos don't have as many gays as the whites, and neither do the Hispanics who mixed with Europeans later. They have some, but so here we have what I'm calling Native Americans, or Eskimos down here, Native Americans. They're kind of the same things, the redheaded Irish, and the dark blacks. And these are the three kind of cultures that to this day gay men in America just have an infatuation for. They don't have the gay gene in them. These guys, the ancient ones, the darker blacks, but they're all infatuations, and they all became slaves to the white gay male. Like everybody thinks it's whites who did this. It's not whites. It's just white gay men who. I mean, yeah, you have some non-gay men who got swept up in that, but it's mostly the gay white male, and we have that. That's our white problem, and they're the ones who they came up here and took Irish as slaves. They took Native Americans, or the Native Americans down here as slaves, the Incas and the Mayans. They were peaceful until all of a sudden the gay gene kind of came over from once the Vikings raided these guys and made them slaves. The Vikings got the vitamin C gene, and then were able to then once the Vikings got the vitamin C gene from taking these guys as taking these what am I doing over here? They took Irishes over here. They took the Irish over here as slaves, and then you got this cultural mixing or whatever it was. And then once they got that vitamin C, they were all over the world. And they raided here, spread the gay gene here, spread the gay gene here. The Incas, the Mayas, all took slaves. That's very gay. Gay, 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 gay. I'm going to show you for a minute. Oh, I'm going to play it right now. Gay, 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 gay. Where is it? Gay. Gay. Taking slaves is that's what taking slaves is. It's very gay. So what I tell them, if they're taking slaves, this is how I handle them. This guy's closeted gay, by the way.
Quit being a faggot and suck that dick. Quit being a...
Okay, I'm gonna show him later. All right. Okay. Let's just go on. 413. I'm definitely gonna have a part 2, but I'm definitely getting to that before I go to work. Okay, so they took slaves, and then the whole slave economic structure will eventually fall. Okay, it's communism now, whatever it is. The only thing that will not fall is what Alexander Hamilton set up, the financial system, which is a taxing scheme, which the gay Nazis in America torpedoed with something called Amendment 16. I'm not going to go into this. I've already been through this. I'm just showing you a history of the world. Go look at it. And why am I doing this? Because right now, modern day, what's going on is for the first time, when they invented writing, why did they invent writing? To be able to control the non-gay man. So they've been controlling writing, the gay Nazis, since very, very beginning. So throughout all of history, this is what we have is the gays being aggressive. They want to take the nicer, there were Jews here. Oh, by the way, there weren't Jews. Jews came in, the whole Jewish religion came in after the original version of the Gospel of John was written. That was first, before anything Jewish. They weren't Jews, but they were, we'll call them Jews, people from Jerusalem in this area. And they were redheaded. It's in the Bible. There's Esau. And if you notice in the Bible itself, like there's some things that are, it's story. It's all storytelling, but it's based on some real things. Like Esau was a redhead, okay? And he was the oldest. And there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that's the youngest brother being the most aggressive because he's gay. Joseph, he became king. He's the number 12 son, whatever it is, the youngest. And he's the king, the most aggressive. And King David is completely made up. He was a redhead. Not that maybe he was a... Sorry, guys. That means I'm supposed to get ready for work. I'm not. I'm going to go for 15 more minutes. So Esau in the Bible is the oldest of twins, and the younger one, Jacob, stole his whole inheritance from him. So you have an older the older brother, redhead, nice guy, not gay. The younger brothers, in the Bible, the younger brothers are more aggressive and they're gay. And but I'm just saying, in those days, the Jews, meaning not any kind of religion, just people from Jerusalem, people from that area, they were constantly being they're just redheaded, not gay, nice people, and they were constantly being raided. People would come in from all over and take them away as slaves. And when they did that, they would mark them as slaves by circumcising them. That was a mark of a slave. That's where the circumcision stuff came in, and it's sick. It's a sick practice, and so redheads, all these people were always taken as slaves, and so. But in China, where the writing started, it was to control non-gay men, and they've been controlling the media since until the advent of the computer. So for the first time in world history, the internet and the computer is allowing non-gay dumbass morons, finally, what I'm calling crowdsourcing rules, to just start to communicate way more, and more information is being spread more easily. So it's very hard. It's very expensive to keep lies going. It's very expensive to keep a slave structure going. And they've been doing it for, even in the United States, they've been doing it for, as soon as they took out the 16th Amendment, for 100 years we did okay running without the 16th Amendment. And then once they did the 16th Amendment, it's World War II, World War III, all these wars are all gay, taking slaves is gay, wars are okay. So this is what I tell those people who start the wars and do all this shit, the swamp creatures. I say,
suck that dick.
meaning he said, I'm gonna play that. Okay, all right. That's why we'll play that in a minute. Okay, so let's just get on with it. Let's just get on. Okay, so from this, I'm saying there's another problem with this, with the genetics, is the ones who don't have the gay gene, the mutations, they tend to be alcoholics. There's something to that. The Native Americans here, the Eskimos, the Irish, and I'm not sure about the super dark African people, dark skin. When you start mixing with the whites and stuff, I think you start to get the gay gene, and then you know, but and then maybe China, I'm not sure. I think they have a gene that makes them throw up if they have too much alcohol, like they're intolerant. But that the reason I'm saying this is because we have problems. Everybody has problems, okay? You know, the Irish have, but some of them are not solvable, like as much as two problems I'm trying to solve right now. Not solve, but one of them is this idea, okay, the alcoholism, that's tough. That's just genetics, I think, on these things. But there's two other problems, and that's we're still, that are left over from slave days and left over from the gay white Nazi male doing shit to the people from Jerusalem that they are infatuated with, like the Irish and this kind of thing, and then the blacks, and that is they have the women spank the young boys. That's slavery shit. That's sex. That's like pedophile stuff too. Because when you spank them, sometimes it gives the little boy an erection. It's very pedophilia, and it's the same with circumcising the little baby, like especially the ones who bite off their little penis and all that stuff. Ugh. That is the sickest. That is gay. Okay, having people spanking kids is spanking kids is gay, and circumcising babies. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because circumcising, does the circumcised penis lack the ability to slide skin over skin during intercourse? It's very hard to explain this, but it almost, like, you almost don't need lubrication if the male is uncircumcised. You do need it, you know, but you need it less than the circumcised penis, and it's a different sensation for both the woman and the man. the way the uncircumcised penis is built that way by Mother Nature to have the woman have an orgasm. I mean, especially when coming, it's all very. I'm gonna get into that later. It's 4:20. I got to get on with this, but go see the video. But this is absolute complete bullshit that the circumcised penis is like somehow healthier or better. It is specifically pushed by gay white Nazis on these through the Jewish women. They give the Jewish women power to make sure that sex between heterosexual sex between that Jewish man and the Jewish woman is not what it should be. It's like a deformed penis. It's a genetic mutilation, and it's the sickest practice. So 50 years maybe, I'm going to give it 50 years from now, maybe even sooner, there's going to be school kids looking back on that and thinking that was worse than slavery. Like, how could humans do that to each other like that? You really did that to people in those days? I don't believe it. There'll be an old elderly person, a few people left who are circumcised, maybe 100 years from now. You're going to say, seriously? And maybe a few who are done for medical reasons, but they're going to say 80% was done, or this whole religion was based on the circumcision and all this, and they wrote all this shit in the Bible. You know, it's bullshit that was added after the original John and all this stuff, the circumcision. The whole religion is just gay Nazi created to, it's sick. It is a sick practice. It's good. And you would think when California, the most populous state in the country, ceased to allow state Medicaid to pay for circumcisions as if it's routine. They said this is not routine. This is elective. You guys pay for it, but we're certainly not paying for it. And then the American Pediatric Association, that was in 1982. California did that. In 1999, the American Pediatric Association said no, we're not recommending circumcision at all. So where are you getting these studies that it helps with health and shit? That's called gay Nazi propaganda, and that shit is expensive to keep up. And now with rock and AI and internet, it's going to fall so fast. Real information is going to get out there. And the other thing that happens is when the money starts to run out, we're doing that with the 16th Amendment. You have to pay for studies, scientific studies that matter. Okay, and these studies, the right studies showing how many people are circumcised, blah, 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 this kind of stuff will be done. And studies show will be instant. It'll be a year, and we'll have the studies that show that this is the sickest practice that has happened in the entire human history, is this circumcision shit. Okay? So, no, I say, does circumcised penis lack the ability to slide skin over skin during intercourse? No, a circumcised penis does not lack the ability, blah, blah, blah. That's just AI bullshit. Because down here he says the AI says the exact opposite. The foreskin is absent, so there is no skin that slides over the glands in the same way. The skin on the shaft still moves. No, it doesn't, not as much. But the primary action is the movement of the shaft itself, not a shaft. See, it's the shaft itself. You need lubrication for that shit. Whereas if you have the intact penis with the glands in place, you get a natural. It's not a lubrication as much as a skin on skin within the penis itself, so that you get the feeling of the penis entering and exiting, but you don't have the skin on skin friction that you need lubrication for. It's just the most horrible story in human history. That has got to stop. It has made an entire culture and religion of mentally ill pedophiles, okay? Or mentally ill, not pedophiles, but yeah, possibly. I don't know if that's the origin of pedophilia, but they are more like Adam Sandler. I don't believe is a pedophile, but because of this circumcision and this weird mental shit and relationship with his mother, he's easily manipulated by the gays and by the pedophiles to do his humor that way and think that it's funny. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but just Just say no to the gay Nazis and say no to the pedophiles that they team up with to do shit to kids. Okay? Oh, it's just sick, guys. Stop the fucking circumcisions. Okay? So, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. But I just wanted to show you when I said the gay men run the world. I recently did, a breakdown of the U.S. senators. 100 of them. Out of 100 senators currently, 41 of them are gay males, and I list them right here, you guys. Okay, there they are. You could pause. And the reason I put redhead is because there's association. Now I'm not saying they were born redhead, but I just went and looked at them, and they color their hair red. All these. And then the Jewish redhead is probably the most powerful of all. So I'm going to say Adam Schiff, and I attack him heavily. I call him a gay Nazi buttfucker. I go on and on. I say he was responsible for the shootings. I have a whole video on that. Okay, and everybody's like, oh, that's so homophobic. Oh, we mustn't say anything against Adam Schiff, the biggest fucking Nazi murdering piece of shit on the planet. Butt fucking gay Nazi pedophile asshole. I mean, I'm going to go on and I'm going to keep saying that. And you're going to say, oh, you're going to get canceled. You're going to do this. Yeah, good for me. I don't give a flying fuck. Okay? I mean, this guy, okay, he's closeted gay. Let's just put it that way. But a lot of the shit he's done, I'm pretty sure he's a Nazi. I'm pretty sure all these guys, because you're not going to make it this high in power unless you're a Nazi. This is what Trump has to deal with right now. And they're not all Democrats. A lot of them are Democrats. Here are the non-gay dumbass morons, and you better believe that of all these guys, all their interns, all their helpers, all their secretaries, whatever it is, are gay men. So even if they're not gay, they have a lot of people running their emails, running this, running that, who are gay. Just a lot of gay people. It's just like in China. And those are the eunuchs. These guys aren't even eunuchs. They're very aggressive. And a few women, like hopefully, but even the women. So I'm just making that point. I wanted to show that because there is a solution to this. So I was thinking, so here are the problems. We need to stop the spankings and stop the circumcision. And these are problems that can be solved with the black community and with the Jewish community. And they affect everybody, okay? And unfortunately, the problems of the Irish and the problems of the Native Americans, the alcoholism, and the problems of the whites are harder to solve, because how do you solve a problem when it's all genetics? The white problem is we have more gay men amongst us, which means we form more gay Nazis as well, okay? I mean, I don't even think these people, the blacks or the whatever, I don't even think they could reach critical mass to form gay Nazis. Maybe they do. There are some militant armies here that seem like they're very gay. They draft a lot of young men, and it's very pedophilic over here in Africa. But it's not as bad as our problem worldwide. Yeah, there are absolutely some militant kind of gay run shit in Africa. But beyond that, the problem is for just everyday average Americans is stop getting the black women to spank their young boys. That's very encouraged by gay white Nazis. Okay, corporal punishment of kids needs to stop. And it's mostly the mother who spanks the kids. Circumcising young babies, that needs to stop. All right, so as we go on, there was a comedian, Phoebe Robinson, and I went to see her YouTube special. Very good. She's on the right track. She says, okay, white women, we need to get together and do something about all this stuff. And she's on the right track. The problem is, the problem is you need to know what the enemy is. It's not all white men. It's gay white Nazis, okay? And the non-gay dumbass morons that have been raised privileged is mostly the gay white Nazis who are in love with them and are making them privileged. They're not demanding that. And then they get up to a certain point, and it's true, there is a problem with that, but that goes away when you go at the source of the problem. And that is the hardest thing for the black women to do because they get all their power from the gay white men. Okay? They get all their power from the gay white man who tells them to spank your boys so that you break the black male. I mean, those guys are broken and in jail by the age of 2 when you're spanking them like that, period. They can't learn self-discipline, and they have a fundamental right to learn self-discipline, meaning make mistakes without being spanked. Age-appropriate mistakes. Okay, so she's on the right track. That's not her natural red hair, by the way, but so she's not a Roca, but 431. Shit. She's on the right track. Get together, but we can't rely on the white women, is what I'm saying. I have a white daughter, and she can't. They don't have a gaydar worth anything. She can't. Her own father, her mother is lesbian, but her father is a gay white man, and you would think she has an impeccable gaydar. She claims she does. I think she just broke up. I didn't say anything, but she just broke up with somebody who I think is closeted gay. I'm sorry, I'm saying this publicly, but I mean, it's obvious. And there's some of the things he was doing is so gay, and I was like, he's borderline true, but yeah. So, anyway, and her own father's gay. I mean, and my son's the same way. Those guys do not have a gaydar. So we're not going to be able to get help from the non-gay dumbass males and the non-gay dumbass females, whites, okay? So ladies, you black ladies, stop spanking your kids, but stop getting all your power from the gay white Nazi as well. And the Jewish women. So what's going to be a check 100 years from now when the 16th Amendment is gone? I think we could do white lesbians too, okay? We could do white lesbians, will do it. But the non-gay whites are useless. She's going for that, but you need to go for something else. Okay, the blacks need to look in at themselves and stop spanking their kids and stop trying to get their power from gay white men. Okay, so she's on the right track though. We do need to. So here's your example. Here's one example right here. You guys ready? The best, I think, one of the best, at least most successful rom-coms out there. Friends, right? Look who created this.
Yeah, and I just, remembering the night we dismantled it, thinking, well, we're never going to be back here again.
I think.
Okay, that guy was gay. His name was David Crane. And this guy,
1994,
Kevin Bright,
MTV,
another creator or producer of Friends.
already been full blown, and I think that the country was ready for a show about
Gay.
Young people and what are their dreams and what are their lives like, and why are they so damn funny.
Kevin Bright began a relationship with Marta Kaufman and David Crane on a project called Dream On.
We had just
Okay. Gay. So you just saw 3 white gay, and I think these guys are all Jewish too. But this is why I'm talking about the Jewish guys. 3 white gay men, and you have 1 Jewish woman, Marta Kaufman. Now, this shows you they are, when you guide the white gay male, or the Jewish gay male even, in the right direction, they do have both sides of the brain, and they could be very successful, very funny. Alexander Hamilton, genius, but they need, this woman is the key right here. Jewish woman, just say no to the gay Nazis. They will get together. The problem is with the gays is sometimes they will, when they're the gay Nazis, they're striving for power, they will team up with pedophiles. Now, I'm not saying the gays are pedophiles, but they will team, pedophiles meaning, when I define it, it has to be, it's a male who is attracted to a female under the age of 12 before puberty. Once they hit puberty, if they're attracted to him, they have a Lolita syndrome or whatever it is. That's not pedophilia. We need to get that very straight. There's a very particular person that I am focusing on. Not the gay men who are, the gay men who are interested in young boys too, of course, that's pedophilia. And you do have that, but I think what we're targeting here and what these guys team up with And the one I'm trying to protect the most are young girls that are young girls. Okay, period. I don't care about, I do care about the young boys, but that's a gay thing. And, the Catholic Church stuff, they were coming of age. And I don't, if you're going to be 12, 13 and become adolescent, an adult according to Mother Nature, and a Catholic priest happens to help you come of age as a gay man, I'm not, I'm like the movie Doubt. I don't care so much. I got to go, you guys. But this is the key. I'm telling you, Trump, in the future, you got to turn the Jewish women, and not against the gays, but you have to be able to say no to the gays when they come up with some kind of idea to make a joke about pedophilia or something that's going to attract the pedophiles. Adam Sandler needed a freaking Jewish woman who could say no to the gays on his set because he could not say no to the freaking pedophilia jokes that attracted the pedophiles. And I'm not saying the gays do that. I'm saying they get together with the pedophiles and they make these jokes, and it's sick. And you need to stop the cycle. You need to stop circumcising them, okay? And you need to get the women to do this, because the women are the ones who are behind the circumcision, because they get their power, like the black woman, from the gay white man. Now she gets her power from these three, but she also knew how to control them somehow, so that friends would just hit the right balance. So she is the genius behind this, as far as being able to. Those guys were genius because they would come up with funny jokes, but she also cut out like 100 that were really bad, pedophilic, whatever it was. So that was the key to that one. And I'm also okay. So that's Marta Kaufman. You're a goddess as far as I'm concerned, Jewish goddess, for being able to do that. So now there's a new show out that I like, and it's called Nobody Wants This. And the season 2, I almost quit it because it started and they had them keying a Tesla, and I'm saying, okay, let's just do that later. But I kept watching, and I said, this actress, I think they're all Jewish except the one who's converting. What is her name? Jackie Tone. She plays Esther. Is that right? Okay. She plays a woman who had the best little speech toward the end. And I loved it. And it was like, you are Jewish. You do this and you do that. And she mentioned all sorts of great kind of Jewish characteristics. The family thing, this thing. They were funny. And I'm not sure how much of that is going to survive when you stop circumcising. Can you have the Jewish religion without circumcising? You're going to have to, because that's sick and it's going to end very soon. Okay, so does the whole Jewish religion die, or do you guys keep this culture that you mentioned and stop the circumcising? Now, season 3, if you guys do that, I'm telling you guys, please address the circumcision issue, because you should have the one played by, you should have the non-Jewish woman on there. What is my problem? What is their name? Now I can't even get her name. Oh well. Kristen Bell? Kristen Bell? Okay. But she plays non-Jewish. Season 3, you gotta have them argue over the circumcision issue. And you gotta have him give in and say no circumcision. Please. Please. There's some women who were recently shot on purpose, 2 Jewish women in a shooting where 4 people were killed in New York. I bet you they were progressive, not wanting to circumcise kids, and they were shot for that. You need to look into that. But sorry, Jews, I'm not pushing anything. I'm just telling you what the future is. And the future is there's going to be no more circumcision. It's going to be a law against that, as it should have been 8,000 years ago. Okay? It's just, it's gay. All right, I got to get ready to go to work. I'm sorry, I've got 2 minutes to get ready. We're going to continue this later, actually. Bye. I'm going to post this. Let's see what's coming up. I'm going to post this. We're going to do this whole later. I'm going to do this whole 3-minute segment. While I get ready, I'm playing this I'm getting ready for work. I'm going to play the segment. This guy is closeted gay. I'm going to play this.
Hey, Megan, how you doing? saying that word, and it never meant gay. When I was a kid, I didn't know what gay was. No, I hadn't been told that people do that. I had no fucking idea. Faggot didn't mean gay. When I was a kid, you call somebody faggot because they're being a faggot, you know? Someone's just being a faggot. Shut up, faggot. I'm supposed to use those, but shut up, faggot. Didn't mean, like, I would never call a gay guy a faggot unless he's being a faggot. But not because he's gay, you understand? Like, if I saw two guys blowing each other, I don't know why I'm watching them do it, but if I just happened to stumbled upon a couple of fellas blowing one another on their respective kinesia. Plural for penis that I invented today. Kinesia. I would be respectful to them. I would, hello, gentlemen, whatever, But if one of them took the dick out of his mouth and started acting all faggy and saying annoying faggy things, people from Phoenix are Phoenicians or something like that. I'd be like, hey, shut up, faggot. Faggot! Quit being a faggot and suck that dick. That's what I would say to him. I don't know, I would never call somebody a mean name because they're sucking a dick. Because if you can suck a dick, man, that's awesome. I respect you. Because I can't do it. I haven't tried and failed. I've put myself there in my mind. I couldn't do it because I'm afraid. That's the only reason. But that's why if you can suck a dick, I think that there's a strength in being able to do that. I believe that. I don't believe that blowing somebody comes easily to anybody. Even if it's something that you generally do, every new dick must take something out of you. There must be something you gotta do to get yourself ready, Okay, here we go. Okay. Here we go!
Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Yes. What do we have? Oh, 443. Okay, more power to you. What am I saying? Everything's gonna be okay, everybody. Hang in there. I'm gonna do part 2 after I get back from work, but I'm posting this right now. Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side in one piece, and hope I get to work on time. Bye.